This will be a video response to a video by user Asperger's Girl, and your video is people who use Asperger's syndrome as an excuse. I think it's syndrome, yeah, you put that word in there. Anyway, I have an interesting sort of contrast. I have a friend of mine who has Asperger's, and I also have it. And before he even got the definition of Asperger's, he was quite an antagonistic guy, and he still is. I'm still friends with him because he's got, I pick my friends based on whether or not if they have morals or not, really. And that's kind of where I am with things. He has opinions, and I'm interested to hear them, so that's why I hang out with him. And I like him, but he does have a hard time really tolerating other people, and he doesn't make the same effort I do. I'm going to just say that. Now, he never uses his Asperger's as an excuse, not that I've heard. We've talked about that he has Asperger's and that I have Asperger's, but not in any great length. And really, I don't think he's like those sort of people who claim to have Tourette's but don't, and want to use it as an excuse. I believe that he does have Asperger's syndrome. So I thought I'd just throw that out there, that he doesn't really use an excuse, but he makes it a matter of sort of moral obligation, what he does, and is quite unflinching in that, whereas I stick to more subjective ethics, and that's really where the difference lies, I guess. So, if people are using it as an excuse, what I would say is, I wish it could just be a matter of personal ethics to say I have Asperger's and, leave me alone, or I can do as I wish. But, I'm in the unusual position of also being an anarchist. So my stance is, yes, you can do as you wish, but why must you bring down the rest of us? It's difficult enough for someone with any variant of autism to blend into society. As I said, my friend doesn't use the term Asperger's to excuse what he does. He doesn't feel he doesn't have a moral requirement to excuse what he does. And if you're using Asperger's as an excuse for what you do, I would say that in itself seems like a paradox, because if you weren't aware that what you were doing was socially inappropriate, you wouldn't be using Asperger's as an excuse. You wouldn't be using any excuse, perhaps, because you wouldn't be able to discern the difference between social acceptability and social non-acceptability, or whatever. So that's my point. If you're making the argument, I have Asperger's, so therefore I don't understand that this is socially unacceptable, which is kind of what's implied by using it as an excuse, I think, then that in itself is a paradox, and I haven't come across anyone who uses that as an excuse, but you seem to have. And next time you're faced with that, maybe you might say that to them, that this is a blatant paradox. You're trying to claim, oh, I don't understand that I'm doing something that's insulting or annoying or socially unacceptable. And of course, when you're saying that to someone who's telling you that it's socially unacceptable, and they're telling you it literally, or telling you that they literally find it annoying, or they're literally asking you to stop, then that's not the same thing. You clearly understand that you're annoying the other person. People with Asperger's often are described as taking things literally. So my point is, it's not a solid argument. And if you want to use other excuses that don't rely on you not understanding the circumstance, go ahead. You want to say, I'm having a bad day, just go away from me. That's an argument I could stick to. But, well, I wouldn't stick to it every day. What I'm saying is I could understand more thoroughly if somebody used that, and I wouldn't find as many holes in it. But this particular argument that Asperger's excuses your behavior is an excuse, not good enough. I mean, if you want to make an objective stance on it, you could say you don't want to have to excuse your behavior to anyone, or that it's not your duty to do that. But if you believe it's your duty to do that, and yet you use a flimsy excuse like this one, which I think is quite flimsy, I think, to be honest, you're leaving yourself open to further debate. as I hope I'm contributing to. But anyway, so long.